All right. Hey, everybody. I am Leanna Martins. And if you might be thinking about relocating to Edmonton this year, this live is for you, my friends. Um, I work with families moving from Ontario, BC, and really all across Canada. And I help them make smart, confident moves, even if it takes 3 to 12 months. It's very common for clients to contact me a year out. So tonight I want to walk you through the three biggest things that I really think you need to know before you make your move in 2025 to Edmonton, if that's what you're considering. And this is based on what I'm seeing with my clients. So I've made some notes just because I really don't want to miss anything. So just so you know, I'll be referring to those and kind of popping back and forth. And anybody, if you guys have any questions, of course, you can post those and I will do my absolute best to respond to them. So this is the first of three. What has changed in the Edmonton market? Since COVID, so from 2022 all the way up to 2024 over the last 2 years. So the market here really did used to feel like the best kept secret. And I knew I could see the trends going. And I already knew I was like, as COVID was exploding, I knew that my market within 12 months was going to get big. And it did. So it is now a hotbed for relocation. And it's largely driven by relocations. We have lots of international relocations. Many of the international relocations tend to rent first because they have to get their work permit and their permanent residency sorted first because you can't get a mortgage without those two things. So if you're doing an interprovincial relocation from somewhere else in Canada, or if you have dual citizenship, or if you are an American citizen, I get those as well, who might be in the medical field. Because you are able to get a job. Our healthcare sector in Edmonton is extremely strong and we are looking. And so you are able many times to have your work permit organized right away. And from that, be able to make the transition into home ownership a lot quicker. So anyways, I digress. So what's changed in the Edmonton market over the last 2 years? This is what. Builders are busier. New construction timelines are stretching. And honestly, more than that, they're adapting as prices rise, and the builders are adapting with the style of what they're offering, what they're including, what they're excluding more than anything, to try and meet that first-time home buyer price point. So typically the first-time home buyer price point, which is the bread and butter for lots of large production builders, is anywhere from $300,000. I'll say $350,000 to $500,000. We're going to say. And so the shifts and changes that you're going to see are things like appliances, fences, garages, upgrades or lack thereof, bare land condo registrations, which was super fascinating. And basically, if you look at what you could have got in 2022 to now, the exact same home, it's not the same home to begin with. It's going to be on a smaller lot. The upgrades and the features are not in there, and it's about $100,000 more. So our market is appreciating significantly. Multiple offers are back, friends. And are they really back? I would say that they have been here. 2023 was an extremely, well, actually 2023 was difficult. After interest rates rose, right? The market tanked. But then after that, there was another surge. So post-COVID, tank, and then we're back again. So multiple offers last year and through into this year are strong. So regardless, if you guys are watching my market updates and I'm like, okay, the numbers are inconsistent. So what we're seeing in terms of like the supply and demand numbers, there is more supply than there is actual sales, which would say that it's a buyer's market. But I'm telling you right now, and I've been saying this for 2 months, it's so odd. It is definitely in the segment, in the price point. So is it new home construction? Is it resale? What type of neighborhood and what price point? So if you answer those 4 questions, that's going to garner where you're at. So in that price point of $300,000, I'm going to say to $550,000, it is extraordinarily competitive, and I would expect competing offers. Mortgage rates have cooled slightly, and competition because of that, on top of the surge, the main, sorry. I think what I'm trying to say is mortgage rates have cooled, which had the people that were on the fence because of the increase in mortgage rates. They've gotten off the fence essentially, right? So all those people, so there was a glut of buyers that were waiting and waiting and waiting. And then when mortgages and interest rates became more affordable, which they have, everybody's surging into the market. And I always tell people, right? So the idea of waiting, it is not in your best interest right now. In the Edmonton market, it is not in your financial best interest to wait. It is in your best interest to plan, to get your job secure, to find a really good local relocation mortgage broker that can support you. But yeah, again, I digress. Apologies. I currently have a new home pending with a street side development. So it's a local builder. They're a large production builder, and their bread and butter is the first time home buyer. And it's with a family from Ontario. We just went pending on Monday. And guess what, my friends? They required a pre-approval letter, and that is virtually unheard of with a builder. So back to where I started this, which was this statement anyways, which is mortgage rates, right? So mortgage rates and pre-qualification. So really, because it's such a competitive market, if you were in that buyer price point, get yourself a really good local Edmonton relocation mortgage expert, and they're going to set you up for success, because you're going to need your pre-approval. One, you got to obviously know where you can shop with and where you're at financially and prepare yourself. Two, you're very likely going to need that pre-approval letter to in order to be competitive with your offer. So next, families who waited 6 months, they are now being priced out of certain areas, that's for sure. So Edmonton might still be very affordable by comparison. If you are coming from an Ontario market or BC market, for example, it is. Our market is still exceptionally cheaper for what you can get. But it ain't slow no more. We are busy. So you really need to prepare yourself as much as possible and get as much support so you can hit the ground running and be organized. So part 2, here are 6 things that surprises families most when they move. 1, winter, fine, let's just say it, but also how easy it is to adapt. So my clients say the exact same thing. They're like, oh my God, it's cold. But they're like, you know what, but we got through it, it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be. So yes, it's cold, and they adapted super quick. 2, how many neighborhoods exist? So that is always I think one of the biggest challenges when relocating, but also how hard it is to choose one without help because of the overwhelm with how many hundreds of choices that you have, and figuring out what's safe, what's the best, what about commute times, what about schools, what about so the school systems differences. So we do have differences in our school system. So no one really understands Catholic versus public and charter. So very few people, I don't know anybody who has their child in a charter school. So it really is predominantly, you've got a choice between public and Catholic. Number 4, utilities are higher than my clients realize. So our utility costs are quite high here. And I would say our groceries are quite high as well. But then it's marginal compared to what you're saving in real estate and other cost of living factors. And where are we? Oh yeah. And also some places the property taxes are higher than my clients expect. Number 5, that builder homes don't come with window coverings, fences, decks, and many times real property reports and landscaping, and sometimes not even appliances. So those are some of those things that some builders are cutting out to try and maintain the affordability for that first-time home buyer price point. And then the 6th thing that clients are most surprised with when they make their move here is that making the wrong community choice, it really can lead to regret. So getting that support, I always hear, is the most important thing, and how invaluable it is. And you know what? I'm I'm going to tell you this. Most families are shocked when I start working with them at how different real estate works out here. So, for example, commissions, land transfer tax, just to name a couple. Now, part three. So, why 3 to 12 months of planning really is gold. So, reaching out 3 to 12 months in advance sets you up for such solid confidence, the smooth transfer, organization, feeling in control, and feeling like you've got everything basically in a clear vantage point. So, you really know what's happening. So, it gives you time to explore communities at your own pace. So, whether it's online or in person, and for when you're not here, you're doing it largely online. It gives you the time to transfer with your job. That really is the foundation of being able to make this move. So you got to make sure that you and your family are financially viable. So you got to either transfer your job, or you're going to need to find a job here, or you're going to need to prove that your remote job is secure and you have a remote job with your lender. So once you get yourself connected with a relocation mortgage broker, they can support you with how to do that. It also allows you time to sell your home. So especially if you're moving from a higher, obviously you are moving from a larger market like Ontario, British Columbia, but these are depressed markets right now. So one of the biggest challenges that my clients have had since last year is the desire to move, getting all the ducks in a row with the job, all of the neighborhood research, putting their homes on the market. But guess what? They aren't selling, and they aren't selling because there's very high inventory and there is low demand. So buyers have time. So for those of you that are in those positions, time really is your best asset, and organizing and planning as much as you can ahead. And then next, you can open up way more financing options, and you can connect yourself with a local Edmonton relocation mortgage broker. That really is, I think, critical. Every single one of my clients, every single one, ends up needing a financial blueprint and a custom finance strategy plan to make their move happen. So here are 3 things that have come up for my clients over this last 18 months that I'd like you to consider. So if you currently have a home and it's not selling, something like a rental analysis, if you can't sell your home in a low market, but you still want to leave, there's an opportunity. As well, alternative ways to prove your local job or remote work lenders will approve. So there's ways to do that as well. And it really is connecting with that local mortgage broker. And alternate products or strategies with overseas or out of province income. So I have clients that are doing international contracts, for example, maybe have overseas money, and or in positions where you don't realize until you start the process, but lenders have certain requirements that you have to prove in order for your financing to get approved. So again, that's why these pieces are so important. And then why the 3 to 12 months planning is gold is really, it just gives you that longer runway so you can avoid costly mistakes with builders, pre-sale contracts, schools, zonings, communities. And I think when you have that time frame, when you're making such a huge transition for your family, it really builds confidence for you. And you're not reacting out of stress. You're creating intentionally with I think support and informed decisions. So I hope that you have found this useful. If you're thinking about making a move in 2025, I would love to support you. That's exactly what I do. Google searches, friends, are overwhelming and never ending, and they are incomplete, and in many cases they're inaccurate. You really need somebody who's got local experience that can support you. So my goal is to give you real clarity and support with zero pressure. I'm not here to sell houses. I'm actually here to help families make smart and confident moves. That is what I do. So if you have questions or you want help planning your move, just drop a comment below, or reach out. You can reach out on email as well. My email is below, and I answer all my messages personally, so you will get me direct. And if you like to be notified when I launch my new relocation collective community, I am really, really, really excited about this. I'm currently in the build phase, structuring it, figuring it out, and I'm very close to launch. It's something special that I'm building out specifically for families just like you and your needs. So if you'd like to be notified when I launch the Relocation Collective community, just click the link in the description to join the waitlist. And if you'd like to book a one-on-one with me direct, you can do that as well. Click that for a 30-minute relocation discovery call. So thank you again for joining. I loved giving you more information, and I will see you in the next YouTube Live, which I'm now going to be doing these once a month. Thanks, guys. Bye.